And I was really depressed at how fast I was able to put on weight. It took me like 2 years to get it off, you know. Comes on easy. I can come off so easy. And but I have to say, so it was an adventure to get it together and get it done in time, and to do both those films in the same year was an adventure. You know, it's exciting when you get to work on projects that are not, you know, that aren't sort of giant studio pictures made to make a lot of money.
And to see Goodnight and Good Luck have this other amazing incarnation, I hope you guys got to see it on Broadway, or at least on CNN, because it was so fantastic.
It was fun to do. It's an interesting time to tell those stories again.
I mean, that montage at the end was a gut punch for everyone in that room. One of my favorite of all of your films, up there with Out of Sight, is Michael Clayton. I'm obsessed with Michael Clayton. Tony Gilroy, I think, is just absolutely brilliant.
Great.
And I would just love to know what your recollections are of working with Tilda Swinton, who of course won the Academy Award for that.
Well, there was a restraining order. I love. I've worked with her a bunch in some Coen Brothers films too. I love Tilda. You know, she's funny because many of the characters she plays, she's really tall, like super, like 6 feet tall, and she wears like 6-inch heels. So, you know, I love Mickey Rooney over there. And she's sort of domineering, and these parts she plays, she can be really cold, and she's none of that. She's warm and has a great laugh and is funny and is great. And you know, it's a funny thing. I was thinking about that movie because at the very end, during the end credits, there's a scene where I get in a cab at the end, and it's just like a 3-minute shot of me sitting in the back of the cab, not doing anything, just riding. And people were like, "Oh, you could tell what was going. You were replaying what had just happened to you over the last few days in your head." And they all. But the reality, actors will understand. We were stealing this location in Manhattan in Midtown in like noon. Got cameras with lights and a truck pulling us in a car, and everybody's looking in like this. And then it's all these fucking people. "Hey, George Clooney! Hey, George Clooney!" And all I'm trying to do for 3.5 minutes on one shot is not laugh. If you watch it, you'll be able to tell now. Try just yelling, "Hey, George Clooney," at the TV when you're watching. You'll see, because you'll see me going. I'm doing everything I could not to laugh. It's funny how, do you know how when you're an actor, you'll go, "Well, I want another take because I don't feel like we got it. I don't feel it." And the reality is, it doesn't matter whether you feel it. It matters whether the audience feels it.
Isn't that the beauty of it, though? What we can project, what we can take from our own lives and experiences onto a moment like that?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. And it's sort of the beauty of what we do for a living is people get to sort of throw their own experiences onto it.
I also love Up in the Air, directed by Jason Reitman. Isn't that great? And I remember talking to you guys when that one came out and being so fascinated, because if you remember Up in the Air, there's a lot of really great stuff that Jason did in the writing and the direction of kind of these montages of George's character business traveling all over the world and like zipping up the suitcase and packing this and taking the handle of the carry-on bag. And I remember learning that was very important to you, that every bit of every body part that we saw was actually yours.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, because I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but you know, sometimes you'll do something and they'll go, "Okay, you know, go home," because they don't want to force your call or something, and then they'll get some, you know, grip with hairy knuckles. There are plenty of movies where you just see, you know, like your hand come down as like a gorilla. That's my hand.
That's fun.
But wasn't it time consuming though? All those little shots?
Yeah, but that's okay. You know, our job can be time consuming. I mean, you know, we work long hours. That's part of the gig, but that's okay. I mean, again, you know, I cut tobacco for a living. I do love it when I hear like some actor complaining, "Oh, this is so difficult." I'm like, yeah,
Please.
you know, our life is pretty good. We're doing okay.
I'm glad to hear you mention Alexander Payne as a director you enjoyed working with. We love him at TCM. He's a great friend of our network. And the performance in The Descendants was so special. What kind of conversations did you and he have even before you started filming it? Because it is a very different kind of film, a very different kind of performance.
Well, I mean, we were sort of trying to concentrate on, this cuckolded man who's, it's a hard thing to, if you've been playing sort of leads like the Ocean's films and things like that, it's sometimes hard to be able to shift that to the guy that just is weak and doesn't stand up for himself and things like that. And sometimes about perception, what people think of you, And so it was about, there were simple things that you could do to help that and to find it. And one of the ones we came up with is I said to Alexander, how about if I run like a goofball? And there's a whole scene where I'm in flip-flops and I'm running like a big goofball. And it helps, strangely, it's the weirdest thing. It somehow really helped you. People go, oh, this guy, Jesus, no wonder she's fucking around on him, the way he runs. And so, it's a funny thing. Sometimes there's just little tricks, I remember my cousin Miguel Ferrer, who was this really wonderful actor, and we did a few plays together back in the day, and we had to do a scene where I had to come on stage drunk, and it's like all those things, actors try to play drunk and drunk people try to be straight, and so you have to look like you got your shit together, but look drunk, and I'd have to come on stage, and I was like, I don't know how to do it. I'm having such trouble doing it. I was like 23 or 24 years old. And Miguel goes, before you walk on stage, just spin around 20 times as fast as you can, and then walk on stage and do everything you can. It's just a trick, right? But you literally, once you do it, and you're trying to just walk like this, you're like, and it doesn't look like you're trying to fall down. You're actually trying to stand up straight. And, so sometimes it was just tricks, that work.
Before you also mentioned Alfonso Cuarón, I